Good, Roddy. Good, Scoobs. Looking fresh. Appreciate you, bro. What's your DB? What's DB? Daily bias. Oh, shit. Um, there is no daily bias today, but we're gonna have to go off intraday price action. Um, we're gonna be relying on intraday price action. There isn't gonna be a clear daily direction. It depends what we do today and tomorrow, because we could easily just have came taken out this low. Now we expand back to the highs here. If we go higher, I expect this. But if we respect this bearish order block, and then we just play slower, I would expect here. I have to kind of wait and see on the daily chart what happens. So we're gonna focus on intraday, just obvious setups intraday. Rest Trim, appreciate you. Share your chart canvas. I'll share it after stream if you message me on Discord. We'll get that sorted. Get that sorted. Today's November 10th, right? You my hip analysis. I feel like I did, but I don't remember. I remember someone telling me something about hymns, but is your bias bullish? Is your bias bullish? You can read this, and then we'll hop onto the intraday charts after. Hop into the intraday charts after. I think the government shutdown is over. Am I mistaken? Didn't they come to an agreement or something? Or am I tripping? No, it says Nasdaq futures. I'm not gonna trade it. If my model forms, how can I enjoy the progress in trading? You can only enjoy it if you have a passion for it. If you don't really have a passion, you just gotta treat it like a job. Yeah, if you don't have passion for this, like if you don't enjoy, like I love trading, bro. Like I love watching the chart. Even like I don't mean trading like pushing the button. I mean like just showing up, watching the candles, just being, you know. I love that. I love being there. I find interest in that. You think today is British or Polish? That's funny as fuck. We'll hop into the intraday chart shortly. Anyone unable to log into trading? You have to log into your TradeAway account and then you have to like enable trading view. That's all that's wrong. Just sign into the TradeAway, enable trading view. What's good, Tommy? So let's take this. Yeah, when you make a good amount of money, you should trade under an LLC. You should do that. It depends where you live too. I did. My account didn't qualify. No, sign into your TradeAway. First thing, sign into TradeAway. See if you can even sign into TradeAway. That's one. If you can, go to settings and enable trading view. Sometimes it just gets turned off. Good, Diego. Appreciate you. At some point, I would anticipate them to run these highs. Do we have like a 4 hour in here? 1 hour. I like this fair value gap. Right. So we're gonna be targeting those equal highs today, and we're just gonna be really patient. And that's it. Simple. It's been bullish. We left equal highs. We displaced from NWOG very quickly. Um, so we're gonna look to target those equal highs. That's it. Very simple. What's up, Kilowan? So let me put that in my journal for a pre-market plan. Well, actually, we'll just save it. You guys want to see what I was doing on the weekend? All this shit, bro. Anyways, save that. Pre-market plan, Monday, November 10th. Pretty simple. We trade into NWOG, and we didn't really show us coming back to it, which means it's been pretty much trendy. Very trendy. So if we're gonna leave equal highs, now we are stopping right at that daily order block, but I want to take your attention to the S&P 500. ES looks a lot more bullish. ES is already like through that wick, and it's almost at the high on Thursday, which is here. So if that's the case, if ES is going to trade all the way up into that high, we can expect a run higher on the Nasdaq as well. Simple game plan. I'm going to be looking for longs. And if we close really bullish today, like that's it. We're running to all-time highs, in my opinion, within a week or two. We're just going to be focusing on that. We're obviously going to be way above midnight, but we can use the 8:30 price level. Something as simple as just taking out sell side and then running to buy side, that would be nice. Buy side liquidity, relative equal highs, high of day. We'll keep that there. Also seems to be like a London high or something. London took out Asia highs and just kept going. Mark out the 8:30 opening price on the S&P. And in 8 minutes, the market opens, and we'll go from there. Got 2 more bites in my bagel. Then we're locked in. Good, Danny. Good, Lulu. Was good, Dudar. Was good, Top Hat. Eating in front of a lot of people is disrespect. Yeah, my bad. Tomorrow was a bank holiday. What do you want me to eat in my closet or some shit, man? My bad, bro. I'm personally bullish. It's choppy. It's pre-market. I actually like that it's consolidating right now. Good, Beto. I'm in mid-class. Been there, brother. Been there. So we should take a look at the dollar. Initially, I want to see lower prices on the Nasdaq because the dollar is bullish. Dollar is currently trading down, so it does kind of align with the narrative that lower. I mean higher, sorry. And if you take a look at where's my YM chart? This should be YM. YM seems to also be bullish, so we're rocking with that narrative for now. Do you guys like these chart colors? Is it like too straining on the eyes? 2025 fade Gaddy model. Well, you come in here every day and say the same comment. Daily PO3 has already been delivered. It could chop. It could. Possible. You don't like it? I'm not changing it. I was just curious. Yeah, it's okay. You can stay here and fade me. I won't ban you, but I will mute you because you're a little bit annoying. Real bullish or bearish? Today I'm going to be looking for longs. And that may change, but for now, I think this is too suspect that we just leave these highs here. So I do want to see us attempt to take out those highs. And we'll see if we can get that. VIX is kind of low. Yeah. Bullish or bearish. There isn't really a clean bias. Like we could easily take out these highs and then just start retracing on the day. I wouldn't expect a full daily reversal. Meaning a daily reversal would mean like we trade all the way back here. Um right? I don't expect that. But we could just take buy side. We definitely could just take buy side and then start retracing the rest of the day. But what I do think is gonna happen is just buy side. Like this that's low hanging fruit. If I can get a trade to that buy side, for now, that's my main objective. And if we can't get a trade to that, I'm not gonna force a trade to it. So if we miss it or it doesn't happen, then we're just gonna wait. You know, we're gonna have to wait for more structure, more information, right? These equal lows are clean. That like the easiest thing that could happen is we come out, take pre-market lows, trade to pre-market highs, and that's as simple as that. You know, we want to be patient. We want to rely heavily on the macro because it's no news Monday. Tomorrow's also a bank holiday, so we want to be patient. Wait for a really good setup. NWOG, yeah, that's just the new week opening gap. We traded into it in Asia, and since then we really trended higher. So personally, I don't want to see a return, but it's always possible. If we return to this NWOG, I'm probably expecting a more choppy-ish week. So we'll see. Tomorrow's bank holiday, no trading. No, tomorrow's bank holiday. I'll be live. I'll be back testing in front of you guys, or I just go back in the lab and do more work. Why are we trading this terrible PA? Why are we? Like, why are me and you? One, I'm not in a trade. Two, I can't tell you why you're doing it. I don't know why you're doing it. It's up to you, bro. Tomorrow, no, yeah, tomorrow's bank holiday, so for sure, no trading for me. Government shutdown coming to an end is bullish. Maybe. Possible. it definitely can bring in the volatility. I wouldn't say it's bullish, but I can definitely say if we are bullish, you can probably see a nice price run because of that. Right. So you're gonna wait for opening range gap, but we can mark it out. What you looking for today? I just want to see the buy side get taken. That's my low-hanging, easy fruit objective. Bread and butter, potentially pre-market lows to highs. CPI this week will come, possibly. I don't know when they. I don't know if the government shut down or not, but I know they came to an agreement or something. I heard. So all right. So see market open right here. That's your opening range gap high. I don't want to see it attempt go lower first. If we can go lower first, that's a good sign. And then we'll measure 50% level. So many levels here. Like what? What is this? I don't need both of those. All right. So we'll leave that on the chart and we'll see. So it looks like we're going up initially, which is fine. We're going to take that buy side level. We'll see if that can, engineer high and then we break back down. There's buy side. Now, if you're really aggressive, you can turtle soup short to target the equal lows. Pre-market highs to lows idea, but it's possible we just trend, which is why I'm not interested in any shorts right now. So we're going to have to just wait. We traded down into new week opening gap and we just immediately rallied higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if 930 just immediately rallied higher. Like it's possible we get one of those days that just slowly grinds up and up and up. It's possible. So I don't want to just look for shorts because we took buy side. So we're just gonna have to wait. In fact, I don't really think I need these or quadrants. We're trading above the opening price. This would be your sell side here. Let's do it like this. This is your sell side open. So we haven't taken sell side. We left a lot of equal lows in there. So I'm gonna check RTH quickly and see if we're. Yeah, so we trade into that buy side plus that 4 hour. I wanted to target this today, to be honest. Like I said, today's the day that'll tell us whether or not we're like, if we start respecting this order block and we start displacing lower all the way back to new week opening gap, I'd be bearish the rest of the week. But I don't think we're going to get that. So we'll just have to wait and see. And we'll just focus on easy intraday setups. I got to make a video about my updated risk management plan. But it's probably going to confuse you guys. But I've been working on how exactly I want to manage my risk and manage my money. And I'm going to trade using that today first thing. So assuming we take a trade, obviously I'm not going to force a trade. We got to practice patience. So like I said, right now we're just expanding higher. Not much interest in there for me. Again, I don't know whether or not we're just going to keep trending or we're going to take that buy side, work inside of it, and then break down the sell side. Had we taken sell side first, then I could take a long target the highs. But we just went up. So because we haven't taken out any sell side, there's no high probability long for me right now. So we just kind of have to wait, stay patient, wait for the macro, maybe wait for 10 a.m., get some more sentiment build, more structure, more engineering of liquidity. For example, if we can get, you know, maybe something like this where we expanded aggressively. Now people are buying, right? And if we can engineer some equal highs and run the sell stops, we may be able to just see a full another buy model, you know? So we'll see. We just got to stay patient. If nothing is available to us in the morning, and also what we should do is mark out this city. We can clear up some of these levels. Like we don't really need to mark all that stuff down there. Let's keep it nice and clean. We don't really need that order high marker. I do want to see 830 in the premium wick high. This 4-hour fair value gap, right? We're trading at right about 50% of it, right there. If you zoom into the hourly, it's bigger, so I'm not gonna mark that. If you zoom into the 15-minute, it's a bit smaller. So we're actually trading right into the high. This is actually my target on Sunday. I said I wanted to see this get traded into. So actually, I really wanted this price run, but doesn't look like we're gonna get it. So just narrowing down that 4-hour fair value gap into the right, and there's actually another 5-minute one in there that's still open. So I'm not gonna mark it like that. We'll just mark out the 15. Actually, I guess we'll mark out the hourly, the 4-hour. I mean, so we're working inside that 4-hour bearish fair value gap. Okay, we're working. It's been really bullish. NWOG immediate displacement. We left a breakaway gap in here. Looks like we're putting in a bullish order block, assuming we're in a buy program. That's a bullish order block. Nothing here we can really get long off of. So just illustrating patience. Like we talked about today, ES was really close to that daily high. It's only 17 points away. So ES could reach up into that. It's possible. I'm going to take a look at the dollar. I mean, yeah, dollar's just kind of neutral. So I'll be honest, we can't really use dollar. It's been consolidating around new week opening gap the entire day. So we can't really use dollar. If you look at YM's also expanding. So we have some synergy there. We're now trading above the 50% level of this fair value gap. So we're working inside that imbalance, repricing, not rebalancing, repricing. It's only rebalanced if we trade into it and then leave it, or if we come back down and leave it. So right now, repricing. I was bullish going into the day, but now we're just waiting for more information. Right now, I'm neutral. I don't know what it wants to do yet. I don't know if it wants to trend, and we may not even make a lower low than 930. And if so, it might be hard to find a trade idea. So right now, we just gotta wait. I've been really trying to hone in on patience and just taking really good trades, because when I catch a good trade, it pays really well. You know, when you can pyramid into a winner. So we're trying to see a little bit of speed lower. I don't all that trust it because we already worked in the upper portion of the 4-hour. You would have wanted to see it stay bearish here. Personally, I'm not looking for any shorts. Not yet, at least. Maybe if something more clear in the macro or 10 a.m. But as of right now, like maybe I don't want to short if we're gonna trade to the top of the 4-hour. But if we just find resistance here and we start to break down at 10 a.m., I could short targeting the equal lows here, and then the final sell side. But I have to let that narrative build because like no idea right now. Do you know where Ben? Bro, you did not come into my stream to ask me where Ben is. I have no idea where Ben is. I don't really keep tabs on other traders like that much. I don't know. Actually, he has a Discord. You should join it. Ask him. So we're gonna let it work inside. For anyone who's watching, how does the chart look? Is it easy to see everything, or is it a little bit too dark, too gray? Chart's fine. You like the layout? Looks cool. Perfect. It's okay. I appreciate you guys. Gloomy? Shit, man. I'm just looking at you. Alright, it seems like most people think it's fine. Yeah, manipulation lower would have been nice. Now you don't know what to do? It's good that you don't know what to do. What you should do is either not trade or just be patient. A bit dull, you can't see the annotations. What if I did something as simple as that, maybe? Like, does that help? I kind of like the other one, but I've been holding it long since last night. Nice, bro. Nice. How did you get the 4-hour Sibi? I can't find it. I'm gonna go back to the OG one. Um, the 4-hour Sibi is right here. From this high to this low. There is a volume imbalance in here. Oh no, there isn't. Sorry. My apologies. Okay, 15-minute or lower. If you want to use the 15-minute one, you simply would just have to break it down. See, there's a 15-minute one right here, and then there's a small one up there. So we're going to be trading to the high that 4-hour looks like. So if I wasn't a long, this would be definitely a partial for me, personally. I'm not saying you or anyone here should. But me personally, if I was somehow in a long and I still had a position, that top of the 4-hour, I would take something off there. Because also ES is trading up into that wick. So nothing we can do here, just gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient. Is my trading model applicable to crypto majors? I've never back tested it. But you can test it. In my opinion, I think it would work. I have seen it a couple of times, but I've never actually like tested it myself. I would just try it. I think you'd be very content with it, to be honest. You have 2K, nice, bro. This is Nasdaq futures using gems. Yeah, my gems model. We might look for shorts. I'm personally not interested in shorts, so not right now at least. So right now I'm neutral. I'm just neutral. I don't even want to. I don't even want to give out a scenario for lower. I'd rather just say I'm neutral. Sometimes I have a bad habit of saying, yeah, I'm bullish, but oh, if I see this, then I'll be like, I'm neutral. I need more information. I want to make sure if I'm taking a trade, I can only paint a picture for one side. And right now, I'll be honest, there's not much bearish about this market. We talked about how if we have a new week opening gap and we trade into it and expand away from it, right? At any point in the week, if we get something like this, it's really potential for a trend, for a trending day or week. Okay? Because if we're gonna be in a consolidation market, we're gonna keep referring back to NLOG. So if we're gonna do something like this, where we just trade into it and then boom, large speed displacement, retracement, whatever, expansion away, that's like indication that we might just trend higher. You know, it might just be a trend. As simple as that. So you could short and hope for a retracement, but that's not really the style that I like to trade. So I'm gonna have to be patient, wait for it to engineer some buy side. If we're gonna have a trend day, I think we have a lot of room left on the day. You know, considering the last couple of days, like this was 624 points. We're at 350. If you look at the last 5 average ranges, we have 645, we have 620, so that's 630 average. We have 600, so that's about 600 average. We have 580, so 590 average, and then you have 250, so about like anywhere from like 500. So if you're looking at the 5 average daily ranges, this candle can easily move up to somewhere here if it's going to be a just one-sided trend day. Now that's extreme, I know, but that's the idea. Could be bullish or bearish. Well, right now, in my opinion, it's just simply bullish, but there's no trade opportunity. We haven't even put in a fair value gap besides the first one. Good logic today. Good. Thank you. I'm honestly in a really good mental space right now. Like, when to enter. Once we have a clear narrative that can only see one side, and we have a clear target, and the model forms, and we're expecting expansion at that time, then we can enter. If there's a good risk. Can you explain IOFED? Yep, IOFED's okay. IOFED is a partial entry into a fair value gap. Okay, so if that's all it is. It's a partial entry into a fair value gap. So I'll explain it very simply. If you can identify a buy program, okay, not a market maker buy model, a buy program. The way ICT teaches it is if you can identify a buy program, meaning, let me tell you what that means. That means no matter what, the algorithms are just going to keep pumping buys. Spam. Every opportunity, buy. Every down close candle, buy. Every fair value gap that gets traded into, buy. And it's going to keep pumping buys until buy stops are reached. So then they can sell, right? That's a buy program. For example, you could argue this is a buy program. There's nothing that can stop this, right? Every down close candle is going to support price. Every fair value gap is going to deliver higher until they're out of their positions. So if you can identify that narrative, and you can identify that down here perhaps. I'm not saying you have to predict it like, oh, okay, now we're in a buy program. You can anticipate it, obviously. It's simply just buying into a fair value gap at the top of it. It would be buying a fair value gap that you don't expect the bottom to get traded into. So for example, now you wouldn't do it here because this is already left, but it would be like buying right here, and you could have a pretty good stop because you wouldn't expect it to come all the way through. That's IOFED. It stands for Institutional Order Flow Entry Drill. Institutional order flow meaning if we're in a buy program and we have institutional buying and buy programs delivering higher, nothing can stop that. So what's an institutional order flow entry drill? You buy any order block or fair value gap that has a part that you would anticipate a partial trading into, like just a trade and boom. Why don't you enter this trade? My model wasn't even close to forming here. How to set my chart to have filled opening gap. You mean you see this? Like you see this right now? So go to settings. Go to symbol. Where it says regular trading hours. Switch that to electronic. I never said institutions use fair value gaps. I said institutions are going to pump price algorithmically because they can't enter just by clicking buy on their account. It's got to be an algorithm that sends out their orders. Okay, I'm not saying they're buying into a fair value gap. I'm saying if the market offers that fair value in that trend buy program, down close candles and the bullish fair value gaps will respect price immediately, so you can get partial entries into them. And if you believe in smart money narrative and you believe in the smart money entity, then that's what they use. That's how I'm just a messenger. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I could care less. You asked me what IOFED is. I'm explaining what IOFED is. So for example, now I would never use it because this is really far in premium. But let's just say hypothetically, we had a target right here. This could be an IOFED entry, meaning you don't expect this fair value gap to get filled, and we just trade into it 1 or 2 ticks, and then we go quickly. This is only true if 1, we're in a buy program, and 2, we have a target that would be anticipated to be met inside that buy program. It would be just like that. You would just buy it right there. And you can put a stop like here or at the most recent low. Not this one. You also have to make sure you're in a discount when you're doing this. You see shorts playing out if we start reversing? No. Personally not. We'd have to we'd have to get a breaker here. We'd have to really do something. I'd rather sit here and wait for a long, even if it wants to come all the way back down the sell side. I want to be really patient Do I see it happening? For sure I see it. I should have answered my question differently. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. We were in a premium all day. We're inside a 4-hour bearish fair value gap. We've taken out buy side. We left equal lows. So anyone profitable overnight, no one's been stopped out. No one had any trailed stops get taken out. So there's a really strong narrative for us to take out sell side. But there's also a strong narrative that we may just trend the entire morning session. So another day of Gatie overcomplicating things. Is your brain too small, brother? It's not for you then. It's for somebody else. You see shorts playing out. Shit open to the week. I don't think it's shit open. You just gotta take it for what it is. What the market gives you, the market gives you. Imagine not taking this long. Easy peasy fractal long. Easy peasy fractal long, eh? Easy peasy fractal long. That's what we're rocking with. Do you recommend orb? You can definitely be profitable with it if that's what you're asking. Do I recommend it? I don't trade it, so I can't really recommend it. It just depends on your model. I have standard alphas, yeah. I use standard personally. I think I want to go for a buffer. That's nothing complex. To some people, it's complex. That's fine. It's not for you then, you know? It's not meant to be for you. It's for me. How many videos is your strategy explained over? 6. We're getting some pretty strong displacement right now. Now, I don't want this simply displacement to just make me switch bias. Did you send because the payouts max because the max payout? Yes. There's more potential. And yeah. I mean, to be honest, I say that, but usually I just take out payouts as soon as I'm eligible. But I have the opportunity. Okay, so we got to focus up here because now we're getting some displacement. Now we're getting some movement. This is telling. We do poke. So what you want to do in a situation like this? So we traded past the 4-hour. Not ideal, but where did we trade past to? That's what you got to see. You know? So I'm going to zoom out here. And I'm going to see, was there anything right above there? So we have that hourly fair value gap. So if we look at that, we didn't even reach consequent encroachment. And in fact, we do trade to the hourly breaker, which is right there. So I'm just trying to say, could you justify this, displacement is what I'm trying to say. Now, I don't want to mark out the hourly fair value gap. But in my opinion, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not switching bias here or anything. I'm just simply saying, do we actually trade into something to see a potential retracement? So we'll just wait. We still gotta wait. It's 950 macro. I like that. I'm personally don't want to look for any shorts. We do get a sort of market structure shift in here, but that's really short term. We're obviously still bullish. Don't forget first presentation. When it happens like this, I don't use first presentation personally. I use it as a tool. In fact, I don't even need it at all. But if I'm gonna have to look and be like, should I use this one today or should I use this little time? I'd rather just not use it at all. I don't even need it to begin with. So if we're bearish, we'd want to see this act as an order block. And I would probably start being bearish if we left this 4-hour. If we left this 4-hour and we could find like a nice entry somewhere here, in my opinion, midnight's up for grabs. We'd have to leave this 4-hour though. We'd have to come all the way back down, in my opinion. Because then it's a balanced price range. I wouldn't really expect it to go back up. It looks like we're going to put in that bearish order block. What is this line here? Why did I put this here? So what I want to do here is I want to check out the dollar quickly. See, dollar is kind of moving higher. So if you want to use, some synergy with the dollar there. YM's also breaking down. So we are seeing weakness. This order block could deliver. I would tape read. I wouldn't take this, but I would study this order block. See if it offers that speed to the sell side. If you were to enter, 24-point stop with the potential like 4 or 5-hour trade. Again, I personally want to see like fair value gaps form. I don't really like that this is all balanced, There is one good thing about this. When you have, listen closely, this is a good lesson. When you have price action, you don't have to take my word for it. You can just see it yourself. See how there's no fair value gaps in here? Same thing in here. It's all balanced. It's all efficient price delivery. If you see that, that's when you can expect a nice run. Because if we're not going down for a fair value gap, then what are we going down for? Now, obviously, there's a 5 minute in here. So in hindsight, there is a fair value gap. That's why I'm patient in here, by the way, because I don't know. Again, this could still be a trend. I'm still neutral. And I'm still bullish, I should say. I'm not neutral. I'm still not convinced that we're gonna take sell side. Whoops. I'm just simply tape reading. So I'm watching it trade in this order block. If we get speed to 50%, that's right there. That's a sign that it's probably gonna form the bullish order block here. In which case, you start looking for this high. In fact, there's not really enough risk to reward to take that trade. Although I'd want to, it's not worth it for 1.3 R for me. And I don't really have another target. So we can study this. This is a trade I would take if I had more room because of the closure above this candle, disrespect of this order block. We took out the short-term low. And we're at 50% of the 4-hour bullish. So, and the 5-minute fair value gap. And inside the macro. So, it was something I would just watch. If there was more room, so I could pyramid, manage my risk. This is like a give or take kind of trade. I don't want to take those kind of trades anymore, really. If I had another target, which I don't, you know, maybe CE on ES, you could argue. So see this fair value gap? This should stay open. This one right here. You would not want to see it trade back into that. If it does, and it doesn't offer an IO Fed, it's going to be probably really sloppy. I'm going to remove the P&L tool, because if I was tape reading, I would terminate there because of what ES just did. I want to be real patient. Nice trim, appreciate you. Yep, YM's really bearish, I think, right? Already past the lows, yeah. I've seen. So we always want to make sure we're looking at the higher time frame. We are trading inside that hourly. There's a breaker in here. It's 50-50, I'll be honest. Like, in my opinion, it's 50-50 because I see the breaker. And really, this is the breaker. That's your breaker. That's your hourly bearish fair value gap. And we've been one-sided. I don't know if we're going to respect it or not. ES has a pretty significant wick. In fact, it failed to reach CE there. So that's kind of telling. But everything intraday is bullish. We traded into NWOG, immediately traded up. We were so bullish, we didn't even run the sell side before running the buy side. We just pumped. We just used 930 volatility and just pumped. My alpha charts seem to be fine. I don't know. Am I missing something? Alpha 1 minute seems to be fine. So it looks like that tape, hypothetically would have played out. Notice how we didn't trade into it. Yeah, it's just a study. It was still too 50-50 for me to take that trade. Also, the risk reward was not that good. I don't know why everyone's saying the chart's missing. Just refresh maybe? I don't know. I have chart. Oh shit! I clicked refresh and it's all gone now, bro. Everyone take a trade and then if it loses, start complaining like, yo, what the fuck? Candle's gone, bro. I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I see the mess up too. I have like 3 missing candles. Whatever. It's right here. You guys can see it. It's no big deal. So we'd want to see it run above this high, obviously. Well, in that tape read example. Although I did say I would cancel that tape read. So can't play devil's advocate anymore. So there we take the high. That was a good study. I mean, 950 macro protraction. It's the only one that formed from the 5-minute. There is an SMT there with ES. I don't expect that to hold. I would expect it to keep going. Seems like some people took that trade. Nice. Yeah, nice. AM Silver Bullet. It's a great model. It's a great model. I guess in hindsight, like if you, yeah, like the most you really could have gotten is like 1.5 R. If you put the stop at the OB, it was kind of tight though. I feel like I would have put it here, so it would have been like a 1.25. It's not a bad 1.25 R trade. If that's how you like to trade, very like easy. Just follow the momentum. 1R, 2R. I think it's really good for evals. If you're on an eval, those kind of trades are great. Or you're just trying to meet base hit for winning days. So, watching price now. Obviously, we have a bullish fair value gap in here, plus the volume imbalance right there. I'm gonna start annotating it like this because I want to put emphasis on the volume imbalance. So I see the SMT in here, and I'm seeing the overall weakness on YM, and it's kind of painting me a potential picture that we're likely to go down. I'd have to see it inverse here, and I think I would actually not mind engaging in a high risk to reward short. Take it with 1 micro, we risk 70 bucks with a chance to make 230 and pyramid. And if we get a breaker in here, that would confirm. We can partial in here and then leave a runner. So we'll see if that happens. We did inverse the 4 hour, but we're still inside that hourly bearish plus the breaker. I'd have to see how this forms. I'd have to see what this next candle does. I like the SMT. I like the overall weakness on YM. Dollar, again, we can't really use dollar to help our analysis. It's not really there for us. It's just kind of doing its own thing. So we'll see. We trade down. We touch that volume imbalance 1 tick. We have another volume imbalance here. I'd want to see if this one, support or like price struggle to get above it. Otherwise, we can get pretty choppy in here. So if we get a candle that just goes down like that, I would sell that personally. We'll take it with 1 micro. Could go 2 micros. So look what I'm gonna do here. If we trade through, and then we even on the same candle, I could sell that. I could sell that right there. 10 a.m. power 3 idea. Open SMT there going into 10 a.m. I'd be really content with that trade because of the overall weakness. Yeah, we're using YM here to navigate this trade, right? Like YM's below, so I'm seeing that one as potential leader. Now that we get the SMT and we've taken out the buy side and the 4 hour, all that stuff. Now there's a picture that's a little bit more clear, and YM's leading. So that's the only reason I'm potentially flipping bias here. We don't quite get the inversion there. If we trade to that low, I may sell that. So I like how that volume imbalance held. See right there on the body. I like that personally. Still no speed lower though. I'm going to open up the YM here on my second chart. See what that's doing, because it's the one leading. Like ideally you'd be seeing a lot more speed, a bearish fair value gap in here. You know, something more telling than simply this. Now, if we can get a closure below, I may be interested in a 1 micro short. And then if we get a breaker, add one. Just not getting that confirmation, just not getting the green flag. So if it just goes down, we may just miss it. But we want to take a good trade here. We don't want to take any bad trades. This does look a little bit dull, doesn't it? It's a little bit brighter on my computer, but on my phone, this looks super dull. I kind of like it, though. Anyway, so see how we're just kind of going back and forth now? Now, that's fine, because this can be smart money reversal, low risk sell, accumulation, lower. Worst case scenario, we get a breaker here, right? Worst case scenario, we miss it, and then we just find a short. But here to here. So you can't really get FOMO. And it looks like we just avoided a loss there just by being patient and knowing what we're looking for. So good patience there. The background color, if you really want it and you're dying, seems like you are dying to know. D0, D4, DC. So yeah, not much here. Seems to still be kind of bullish. You can see we respected the volume imbalance in there and the fair value gap. The bodies are quite telling. Never really gets through. So we just kind of have to wait. Nothing there for us. Wait to avoid the loss. Stay patient. We got time. Worst case scenario, I can trade the final hour. I can trade lunch or PM or trade the final hour. So just staying patient, making sure if we are going to take something, it's going to be a really high quality setup. I just want to align my charts here. So just watching the candles in here. I would anticipate it run up in here, but it seems like it's staying pretty weak. So it's not clear. YM is definitely weak. If dollar was really bullish here, like making higher highs, I could trust that. But you know what? Dollar fails to make a lower low while NQ makes a higher high. So that is kind of indicating a bearish market here. I'll be honest, like lower time frame. But just not there. It's not really confirming. Now maybe we get something like this, and then we get a breaker. That would be nice. Especially if YM can make a higher, or if dollar can make a higher high. If dollar can make a higher high, then that's really telling potentially. No trades yet. We had one tape read. It would have been a break even, but the target was hit. It was just a simple 1R scalp idea. So I'm gonna keep dollar open here. Now, I wish I had. I gotta buy TradingView Premium because what I want to do is I want to get all YM, dollar, and ES here, and I know that's a little bit. I don't think I need. I'm gonna have to buy this, but I'll wait for Black Friday and just buy the yearly plan. I only use first presentation if it's like really clean and obvious. In my opinion, right now, I don't even know which one it is. I'd probably use this one if I'm being honest, or I don't know, the 5 minute one, I guess. The first 5 minute one. It's not really clear. That's why I'm not using it today. The moment you see what's actually happening in the market, you have a money printing skill. Yeah. Trying to demonstrate great patience. First presentation fair value gap is the first fair value gap that forms after 9:30 open. Open up the ES back here. It'll be anywhere from 50 to 80% discount in my opinion. I think it can be like 70 or 80 to be honest. You want to make sure we're zooming out here. It's just been pretty bullish, right? Nothing really bearish about this at all. Just been one-sided longs. Which trade copier? I just use alpha ticks. I actually don't know. I'm sure they're gonna do a nice discount though. I'd be surprised if they didn't. So if you're in a long, you have a target higher. Nothing's really invalidated the long narrative still, in my opinion. So if it was me, I'm not giving anyone advice, but if it was me, I would I would still be holding. We're just engineering equal highs in here. Just, as long as we respect this and don't make a body low, like we don't get a breaker. We can wick it, but don't get a breaker. In my opinion, still bullish. Nothing I can trade though. Too far in premium. Gatie, what do you think about long at 955 closure? Yeah, that's great. That was the one we tape read together. I don't know if you just came in here, but as soon as that candle formed, I said, yeah, you could buy this and just target the high. The 1 to 2 hour scalp, like 1.25 hour scalp. It's a great eval trade. It's not something I'd want to take on my live account or anything, but yeah, if that's how you want to trade, that's a great trade in my opinion. I think it was the best trade that formed all day, personally. So just order block, right? OB. Break even when we retrace lower. You hit break even. Yeah. I don't know where you got filled. Well, so you didn't take a partial profit here. That's fine. Like if you were aiming for more and then this got you, that's fine in my opinion. I don't know where your entry was. I guess it's a little bit high, so it's fine. Maybe you were a little bit over risked. I'd watch this still. I'd still watch this. Is YM? See, YM's getting a bit of a retracement. The hell is this? Like two daggers over here. So we'll see if YM can break lower. Dollar is kind of pushing higher. It's not strong though, but it is trending higher since 9:30. I really want to see this kind of switch lower on Nasdaq, but I don't want to force it either. So I see the SMT. Nasdaq's a little bit strong. ES is weak, and YM is obviously the most weak. That's how big the candle is, brother. I personally think it's fine, inner circle. Personally, I think it's fine. So it looks like the SMT is going to break. We're going to get that high on ES. We are going to get 50% of that daily wick on ES as well. Enter at 25630 being salty by the 1 pip. 256. Oh, you said 955 close, bro. 630. Yeah, that's late. In my opinion, that's quite a late entry. Because your stop's got to be down here. So unless you had a target, but I don't know if you did. I didn't. I wouldn't have had one personally. Maybe I should have held, but SMT and large candle down was concerning. I think it's fine to close that. Right? Unless you had a really strong target here, I think it's fine. Personally. Okay, so I'm going to look at the YM here. It's still retracing. Dollar still moving higher. I personally like a break lower here, man. I do like it, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'd have to get a breaker for me to trust it. To even consider, let alone take a trade. I'm just talking about considering. If we get a breaker, I like the risk to reward because it's like we're risking like that's like a very high R trade. So even if we're wrong, it's fine. And necessarily, I'm not really bearish though. So we're still neutral. We just gotta stay patient. We're still neutral. For me, It's sloppy in here, right? No fair value gaps. Look how long it's taking to move. A lot of wicks back and forth. This deadly price action right here, man. This is deadly. A lot of people, including myself, have probably blown accounts in price action that looks something like this, where it just goes up, you miss a significant price run, although I don't think this is significant, but you miss a move, and then it starts doing shit like this. Deadly. You gotta be really precise and patient. Dollar's still moving higher. YM's also moving lower, so we're seeing synergy between all four assets right now. My personal attention goes to this breaker that would potentially form. Then that volume imbalance out. The good thing about a short here, there is a small 5-minute gap there, but I don't think that's relevant really. So what we're going to do here, we're going to wait one more candle. Yeah, that's a strong candle. I'm going to be honest, that's a strong candle. I'm going to wait though, because it still could be consolidation. I'd want to see a fair value gap form. I may risk missing the trade, but that's okay to me. I'd rather miss the trade than take it before a fair value gap forms in case it gets choppy. See how we're immediately coming back up, no fair value gap? You just got to understand that this is a dangerous condition. So you want to be extra cautious. And it could still rip. It's possible. I'm going to have to wait, unfortunately. So we may miss it. It's fine. You just got to accept that. Me personally, at least, I'm going to have to accept that. I wouldn't say seek and destroy, but this is seek and destroy is when we run buy side and sell side. This is just consolidation, right? No, yeah, there was a 30-second fair value gap, 15-second we're working inside of it, but maybe off this order block, like we could view that as a potential opportunity. ES has a small breakaway, so if we do get an order block here, that's something I just might be able to trust, but I don't think we will. Looks pretty sloppy. What's the huge candle? What do you mean the huge candle? It's just a big. It's a candle. That's just the open low high close or open high low close, whichever candle you're looking at. Yep, red flag there. Dollar chart's moving down. YM still going lower. We still could have potentially put a high here, but it's not also convincing. I'd want to see the breaker get respected. The body does stop right there on the breaker, so we'll see if we get a strong displacement here. Potential 15-minute open, 2 candles up, strong candle down. Maybe. But it's not looking promising, if I'm being honest. ES also has a small bearish fair value gap. If we look at the dollar, see dollar's moving lower now though. Dollar failed to make a higher high. It's not a good sign. YM's moving lower. It's fine. Yeah. I'd anticipate a higher high here. I don't think it's gonna break down. It's not aligned. So we had a good idea there for a second, but it did not flourish. It's really good that we didn't click sell here. Just being patient. Now, had we put in a fair value gap, I would be a lot more enticed. But we're simply just trade down to the range, you know. Again, so even if we get the order block here, I wouldn't really trust. I really wouldn't be able to trust. I like that we didn't get above here, but I'd really have to see dollar start moving higher and everything aligning. This is a bearish order block. You may get another order block off of that. If this candle just drops, makes a lower low, I may sell that with a stop loss here. Something like this. Risk around 60 to 70 bucks. Potential to make like 300. Rush for me. You guys are hilarious, man. You guys are hilarious. I'm gonna look at the dollar quickly. Not telling. YM still bearish. I've seen better setups. I'll be honest, man. I've seen better setups. I'm not interested. Can't be honest. It's not a trade I want to take. I think we're just gonna wait till 10:50, 10:30, 10:50. Yeah. So let's clear this up. We're gonna mark out this fair value gap that we've been working inside. And just gonna be patient. We're gonna wait for 10:30, 10:50 macro. Nothing here to study for me personally. I will leave this annotation on here because that is a traction. So I'm just gotta demonstrate full patience here now. We're gonna be waiting till 10:30 or 10:50. It's obviously consolidating in here. Whether it's accumulating shorts, longs, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get another stage higher. So we wait. I would be bullish though, if I'm being honest. I would be bullish. I would just ignore the short narrative. Like it either happened there or just bullish, in my opinion now. So we're gonna have to just wait, see if we can find a high probability long continuation. It's pretty clear to me now. You know, I don't think we're gonna make a lower low or anything like that. The question is, what color do I make this? I think that's fine. That looks good. Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. So we took out some short-term lows, right? Trading back into the order block here, potentially a higher high. So if we're gonna go above this high, how much higher can we go? I'd look for -1. But really, if we're gonna trade higher, what's the objective? The objective would be the buy side liquidity Thursday's high on February 6th on the S&P 500. That's where my eye would go to. So if we're gonna sit here and be patient for a high probability long setup, should it form, February 6th high on S&P 500, I think that's a potential target. So if we can get something between now and 10:50 maybe, we'll see if we get that. We're gonna remove this S&T marker, remove that macro marker. You'll notice we inversed the 4-hour, came back, touched 50% perfectly. Move up from the order block, take the high. Now we're consolidating in the upper portion of this range. That's fine. What's your favorite color? I don't know. green, I guess. I don't know. Blue, gray, black. Oh, sorry, November. I don't know why I keep saying February. I'm tripping. Thursday, November 6th. So, dangerous in here. If you've been trading, it's dangerous. Gaty, you remember me? I was only man fan? Yep, I remember you, brother. So, of course, I know you guys. So, demonstrating pretty good patience today. Who are you? You're Mass Manadil. Adley. Big Daddy with huge long says Shark Waters. What? What the hell? Oh, we come down here. I'll borrow this. Right, same exact setup here. Formed here. I've got a buy limit at that first FEG in the bullet time frame. What? Your silver bullet entry would have been here. The fair value gap doesn't have to form at 10. The entry has to form after 10. So this one, that 5 minute, you could have been a buyer here. Few candles ago. Oh, this one right here. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I won't stay here and tell you it's a bad idea. You just gotta make sure you have a target though. Remember, don't just buy it because there's a bullish fair value gap, right? Because if I told you we're gonna go here next, hypothetically speaking, would you still take that? No, of course not. Right? You wait for a bearish one and then take that instead. So just make sure you have an idea about where price can go. Me personally, I think Thursday, November 6th high on the S&P. For those of you on TikTok, I don't think you guys can see it because it's my second chart. But if you're on YouTube, you can definitely see what I'm talking about. And also, let me remove the lines here. That's probably really annoying. Right here. That 6843. I think that's the objective for today. That's what I had in pre-market. How are you still in public for free with all this knowledge? I'm here to just... I'm doing this for me, believe it or not. So, this is just my documentation of my journey. Oh my god, now TP got hit. Now TP hit. Got break even for 1 pip. What the fuck? But it was a good trade, but I think moving myself to break even was too soon. I moved to break even after getting the first protected low. Here? Because after this low, this is the only low. Oh, this one. Listen, I'll be honest, bro. I don't think it's a bad break even. I mean, this... It's not like you missed out on anything crazy. It's already a small range, you know? So if you took an entry somewhere in here and then you got break even, I guess it's fine, bro. You know? I don't think it's a big deal. I wouldn't think about it too much. Personally. It's not like we have a very clear, obvious target right here, you know, and you broke even here when the target's up here. I mean, we're talking like 10, right? Your target's 15 points. You got break even. So it was a small range to work with, you know? And it's a no news Monday. You want to be more safe than not. The first goal of every trade. Does anyone in chat know? What's the first? It's like trivia. It's kind of cringe, but out of curiosity, I want to see if anyone knows, or at least knows what I have in mind. What's the first goal of a trade? All your strategy? No. The first goal, yes, is capital preservation. Your goal is to not lose too much money. That's the first goal. So if you had to close a trade early because you saw something bad at the time, who cares? You're accomplishing your first goal. to preserve your capital. Then your second goal is make money. When the trade's really easy, you know the trades that just boom and it starts going, you're like, holy shit, W trade. You know? You make money then. But it's not always gonna be like that. If it's something like this and you broke even, who cares, bro? You preserved your capital, you know? That's the first goal. That's what you should chase. Don't chase the take profit, don't chase the payout. Chase the capital preservation. Unless you want to be super aggressive with fundeds, then I guess your goals are different. But that's my goal. That's for sure. What happens at 10:30 and 10:50? At 10:30, we have a new regular trading hours candle. Okay? New regular trading hours hourly candle. Meaning you could expect something as simple as, I'll just say it, AM continuation or reversal. Expect movement. New range. A new range is going to get put in. A new range high and a new range low. Not from the previous candle. I'm saying like pretend like this is like a new market open at 9:30. You know there's going to be some sort of movement higher or lower. So you have that advantage. At 10:50 macro, that's your first lunch macro, right? So 10:50 to 10:10, that's a very key macro. Now, what would I like to see? The best thing that could happen, in my opinion, is we come down, we trade lower, and then I can take a 10:50 macro protraction long. So we do some stuff like this. I don't know, something like that. I wouldn't mind that. ES has pretty equal highs. You know, we did trade above it one tick, but you want to see it run through. Like, I think this is unfinished business. We still have that CE of the wick. We still have that buy side open. We are in a deep premium, so I'd have to wait for lows to get taken. But if we can come down, take some lows, maybe 10:50 macro offers a protraction model long, I would take that. Personally, I would take that. Generally speaking, any 10:50 macro protraction model, I always love those. Those are like, I love those trades. You don't see the 10 a.m. power of 3, mate. The 10 a.m. power of 3, mate, is only 55 points. So I see it. I see a consolidation. That's what I see. So definitely don't think I missed anything. At least I'm grateful for getting the best setup this day. Now, I don't know if you remember me. I told you I already did the trades I take, and I feel I'm improving. Nice, bro. I'm proud of you. Exactly. That's exactly. You did great today. Don't overthink it. Every time you lose a trade or break even, you don't have to overthink it every time. If you made a very obvious, blatant mistake, okay, sure. But sometimes you can't let it affect you at all. You can't let it affect you at all. When you take a trade, you can't let it affect you. It's as if you never took it. Can you explain the macros? In those specific times, expect a run to liquidity or imbalance. That's all. That's it. That's all you need to know. In those times, most of the time, you'll see some measure of price delivery towards liquidity or imbalance. So whether you have a setup that forms just before the macro and then the macro delivers, or you have a setup that forms at the end of the macro with 1 minute left, and that's the entry that delivers, something like that. In that time, you anticipate some measure, like obviously not every single time, but you'll see it. Now that I mentioned it, study for example, 950 macro. We get the retracement here, fill in the 5 minute, and then we get the run to the high here. That's all inside that 950 to 1010 macro. That's why I labeled this as macro protraction. I'm going to wait for another one now at 1050. Now, sometimes lunch macro, so if we just keep going up here, I would expect 1050 to run lower. Take out whatever low is put in on that run. I don't want to take that short personally though. So internal either. Literally either. It depends. If there's a fair value gap right here, well then that would be a run to, imbalance. Just enter, you rat. No. This blue box, just a fair value gap. I would view it as a balanced price range now, but because we're in super choppy, I definitely expect it to come back in here. Nope, no trades yet. Did Miso disappear? No, I don't think he disappeared. What is this price action? I got chopped up SL by 1 tick. It's not price action that got you stopped out by 1 tick, brother. Cannot blame the price action. Bro, I hate no news Mondays. Yeah, it's not the best. 80% win rate. Not George. He's quiet. He doesn't want to prove anything anymore because most people doubt him. 80% win rate because of him. Nice, bro. So why are you here then? Just out of curiosity. If you have another mentor, we're giving you an 80% win rate. Why are you even here? Not just curious. I'm not hating or anything. I'm just curious. Can I keep my buy limit after silver bullet time frame? I think you should do some more backtesting of silver bullet because the idea isn't simply put an order, leave it, and just see what happens. You want to make sure there's a narrative behind it, right? Do you actually anticipate this fair value gap to hold? If so, why? Right? Answer that question. Why do you expect that specific fair value gap to hold? Someone said look at gold, so we're looking at gold charts. I want to see where we are in relation to NWAG. Probably still working inside of it or near it. Where's NWAG here? Oh, we're actually left NWAG. So we may actually get a trending week on gold. Unless we return back. We'll look at the daily chart. Oh, yeah. That would have been a really nice draw in here. Yes. It could be a trend week in gold. I'll be honest. It depends. It's going to be the same situation as NASDAQ. Same situation as NASDAQ. If we leave that NWAG, on the NASDAQ, then it's probably a trend week. How long have you been trading? It's been about... How long... You talking about when I actually started pushing buttons or when I started learning? That's not bad, Rita. 1.8R, 48%. You can definitely work with that really well. Learning. I started learning in 2023 July. I wasn't learning this, but I started learning. I've been training those small range bound reversals. Always happen on a no lose Monday. Yeah. Nice, bro. As long as you know what you're looking for, that's what matters. Tips on passing top step 50k eval in 2 days. Okay, is your number one goal like how aggressive? You want to be 10 out of 10 aggressive, or do you want to be like middle? Because what I like to do, I like to risk 500 on the trade, and if it works out, like it starts going in my favor, then just send it. You know, like spam ad. 10 out of 10 max aggressive, then you should full port 1R. That's probably the best way to do it. Or really, you should full port 0.75R or 1 or 0. Like risk 2,000 to make 1,500, and just take like a. Don't do it in like 2 seconds. Do it like a proper, you know, like for example something like this, where like you can have a stop loss like here, and take profit at like 0.75. You know, like take one of these trades. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the guy who goes 5 minis and hopes for something like this in the first 2. Like, no, at least give it a chance if you're gonna go for it. You know, like if you have a stop here, entry here, you know, maybe your stop's all the way down here, and you got to squeeze out 0.75R. You can risk 2,000 to make 1,000. You don't have to do 5 minis. You can do what's 50 times, I don't know. You figure it out, right? 1,000. 2 minis. 2 minis. Or 25 micros, and you pass, I think. Something like that. 22, maybe. You full port evals? Like, I usually half port. Like, I don't go for it in one singular trade. I'll do like 2. Those are the easiest, bro. If you take a 0.75R trade, that's high probability, right? Even like hypothetically, like, okay, this is crazy. Like, I would not do this, but say you had something like this, where you got to risk, I don't know, see it a 50-point stop, right? You only need this, you know? This would pass your account. You got to make sure you do the right calculations on the minis, though. That works, right? Like, you'd risk 2,000. You risk 2,000, yeah. So, you know, something like this. Give your stop room. Don't just 5 minis and hope for 1,500 in the first 2-3 seconds. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, if you're gonna full port, like give it an actual trade idea. Like something like this that would pass your account or get 1,500 at least. I'm $150 away from blowing Express account. What do you recommend? Risk 1 micro and try to build it back up. Watch ICT 2024, these market conditions. That's what's increased my win rate. That's good, brother. So I like that if we can potentially retrace before the macro. I like that, especially because we have these equal highs up here. We can take out this low, maybe even this low. Gotta be clean though. Like it's gotta look like this. If it looks anything like this, we just come back in lunch or last hour. Team, fine. I'll find something better. If we can get a nice move lower, something like that. You know, we have 1050 macro right there. ES trading in that 15-minute fair value gap. We're about to get an S&T like this. I don't like that personally. I don't want to see NQ at least take out this low. It doesn't have to come here, but at least give me some run on lows because I'm not gonna. Well, even if I was to long, we have to close above here, so it doesn't make sense. You got banned from Alpha? Why? Maybe you can redemption it or something. Dollar is making higher highs. Why I'm making lower lows. This could be a reversal, but not really interested. Gaddy, thanks. You helped me build the $500 that was left before blowing my account express to now only $200 to break even. Nice, bro. Just keep focusing on good trading. Don't worry about the money. Watch this IO Fed. There is no IO Fed in here. There isn't even a fair value gap in here. You don't know what this is trying to do. It's good that you recognize that. It's good that you recognize that. Gaddy, could you speak about some prop firms? The ones I'm users with use ESS rules kind of chat. I don't know what ESS rules is, but use Alpha Futures, bro. I'll be honest. Really easy payouts. Start with Alpha. When you get payouts with them, move to other firms. If you can't get a payout on Alpha, you probably don't want to even try another firm. Just try to get one on Alpha. It's pretty easy. And then you move on. 10% consistent. Yo, get off that shit. ASAP, bro. You go lower or higher? Yeah. It's good analysis, bro. Took some scalps, made my money, but this is not the brightest. Nice, bro. If you're walking away. Best starting, it's Alpha Futures, man, for sure. I feel you, bro. I feel you. We're working in that upper portion of the 4-hour that we inversed. And ES is in a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Which account? If you are just trying to make some money and not spend that much, I'd recommend Alpha Zero because it's cheap and there's no activation fee. The payout's still relatively easy. You don't have to build a buffer, so it's easy. Start there, get your first payout, maybe a couple payouts, and then move to standard or advanced. Fundanex is great. Fundanex is pretty much the same as Alpha, except you blow the account after the payout, unless you want to build a buffer. So that's why I like Alpha Futures more. But what I usually recommend to people, if they ask me, is start with Alpha, and then add another firm, whether it's Fundanex, because Fundanex is pretty much the same except the buffer rule, right? Alpha's the only one that has that benefit, but it's a great firm. I actually don't know much about my fund of futures, but I think you do have to build a buffer with them, or like the account gets blown. Like it's a similar scenario. How would you go about passing an Alpha Zero? I would risk 500 on a trade per trade, and if the trade's a winner, I would aggressively add to hit my take profit of whatever 1,500, 2,000, like anything above 1,500. What happens when you take a payout on Alpha? Does it trail? the payout stays where it was before. Doesn't it set to 0 after payout alpha 0? No. Any alpha futures account, the drawdown does not get set to 0 after payout. Any alpha account. It does? No, it does not. So is that 40K? No. So two different things we're talking about here. The drawdown trails as you make money, but the drawdown does not trail after a payout. So say you make 500 bucks, your drawdown is now 48.5, right? If you request a payout, it stays at 48.5. It doesn't get moved up to 50. That's what happens with other firms, right? So two different things. It's still end of day trailing drawdown, but it doesn't trail after payout. It doesn't bump up to 50K or like starting balance. Volume imbalance here with this old fair value gap and a breaker. This is your breaker. I'm not going to mark it, but this is your breaker with the volume imbalance. Just watching. So you will recommend taking small payouts? Yes, exactly. As soon as you're eligible, just take it. As soon as you're eligible, take it, and then go. If you want to eventually build out to a big one, do it. Blue trader? What? What's that? We do get a 5-minute breaker in there. High, low, higher high, lower low. We close below. It's probably cleaner on the 3-minute. Nope, 2 minutes. It's not that clean at all anywhere. So if I make 1500 and it trails to 49.5 and I request all of it, then I'm cooked on the next bad trade. You would have 500 left. Yes. You'd have 500 left. Bearish, but I'm still waiting on displacement. Valid. Valid. Yeah, nothing here interesting to me. What's the best way to go about it? The best way to go about it is trade the way you normally would, and as soon as you're eligible, request payout. That's it. That's the best way to go about it. If you really want to be strategic in the money management, if you haven't gotten, like, you need the money. I'm talking like you haven't really made that much. You want to start building your bankroll that you've lost on spending accounts. The best thing to do with alpha futures, in my opinion, is risk anywhere from 100 to 150. You're going to aim for 1 to 2R, the easiest trades. And as soon as you're possible, just take a payout. You keep the account. Can I keep my payouts in that account forever because taxes scare me? What do you mean keep it? When you take a payout, it goes straight to you. So you got to take at least one trade a week on Apex eval? No. Yeah, just as long as you don't hit the rebill. Yeah, dollar looks really bullish, man. YM is really bearish. I like this. It's just I don't like what I'm seeing here. I was Aqua. I don't know anything about that. But then I get taxed crazy. You can't avoid the taxes, bro. You're gonna have to take out the money eventually. How are you gonna trade and then not take payouts? What's the point of trading? This OB could offer shorts. 1050 macro. I am a little bit skeptical if I'm being honest. You can target that low. What's the RR on that? Don't really like it if I'm being honest. 1.8. Not really. It's like more like 1.5. I don't like it. I don't like it because of the SMT. Yes, inverse the 15-minute. Dollar is really bullish. It definitely could deliver. We'll watch it. What you can do here. Damn, we got speed. Potentially a missed idea, but that's okay. Let's see. So I'll focus on this breaker here. Actually, this wouldn't be the breaker. This would be, my apologies, the lowest body, right? But you know, for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna mark it like that. I wonder if we could guess something like this, if it's even possible. What I'm waiting for here is I don't know if my stop is safe. If we can trade back up, touch that. $9.55 lows at 2.558. Holy shit. Damn, yeah. I think it's just gone, I'll be honest. It doesn't look like it's gonna give anything. This is just ripped all the way through the sell side. So missed opportunity, but we saw it form. You just had to trust it right there. You had like you had a couple of seconds. I think this goes all the way to sell side. That displacement's really telling. It was kind of hard to trust at this time, but it is 1050 macro, so I expect this to deliver all the way. Personally, this thing's gone. I'll be honest. This would be your first partial in discount. Damn. Here's -1 standard deviations. -2 is right at sell side. It may give us something in here. I would take it if it gave me, you know. I don't think it will though. Definitely a missed entry, but it's okay. It's not an easy one, you know, because of all this. It's tough. It's tough. ES all the way at sell side. This thing's gone in my opinion. Unfortunate, yeah. Really, I should have taken it off this OB because bro, it would have been such it's just little risk to like. Imagine you got the OB here. Look at that risk to reward. Like, why not? You know, this is such a good risk optimized setup. Anyways, it may give us something in here, so we'll see. And I wouldn't mind a protraction model in the macro, even though, you know, I like it here. Something. So let's move this. Focus up. See if it gives us one more opportunity. I want to see at least, you know, something good enough. Like it's gonna be hard. I'll be honest. I don't think we're gonna get anything. But let's just say hypothetically we got something like here. Maybe. I think it stays heavy though. 1050 macro was really nice. Beautiful breaker trade in there. This is beautiful. Like this, see how this one candle is like nice, solid, up close candle, and then we just immediately come down. That's like so telling. Like I should have trusted this, to be honest. But it's hard. Two protraction models formed, one in each macro. I wouldn't mind finding a short in here with a stop like here. You know, like if it did something, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna. I really don't want to short that OB. That's like a FOMO trade. I could tape read that, but that's like FOMO in my opinion. Like it's too far down. You know, it is really good risk to reward though. 3R just from here to there. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'm not really. If this happened up here, I would take it, but this is too far down. Yeah, this is a mistrade for me. This is a mistrade. I know it's a mistrade because I literally have my thing on sale, and I was like, oh, I just want to wait a little bit longer. If we can get something like this, I'm still interested. I'll give it a couple more minutes. Yeah, I think it's gone. Honestly, I think it's gone. We can maybe get something inside the 5. I don't think we will. It would look something like this. Yeah, nah. I mean, it would look something like this. But I don't think it's happening. We'll see. We'll give it a chance. Just did exactly what you told me to. Got 14 iPhone. There you go, bro. Nice. This is a mistrade. Like this order block immediately jumps to my eye. You know, like this is what comes to me. This is what jumps to my eye personally. And is it OB just supply and demand? I mean, no, but if you want to think it that way, that's fine. You know, it's not a big deal in my opinion. not a big deal in my opinion. The difference. I really don't want to spend the time here to explain it to you because you obviously haven't studied what an order block is based on ICT's teachings. So there's really no point. If you really want to know, you can just watch ICT's videos. He'll explain it really well. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we missed it, guys. I'll be honest, we missed it. It is what it is. Definitely missed it there. Um, yeah, I'll be straight up. Can't you see ES? My apologies. And when ES is going down, it's really hard to see because my camera. So we'll study it run all the way to the sell side. I think that's very possible. Easily -2 standard deviations. That's your sell side. Very nice delivery. Wow, man. If you shorted that OB, hands off to you. There's sell side right there. 11 a.m. That 1050 macro delivered so nicely. Midnight open and potentially new week opening gap is possible. Yeah, we are really on point with the analysis there, but we missed it. It is what it is. It didn't give us another opportunity. This one was deep. I wouldn't trust it. It's not that I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't want to risk on it, but this one also played. So that was 3R. Don't even want to talk about the risk reward on that one. Too good. That OB was really nice. Had the volume imbalance with the breaker. Definitely something I should have trusted. But that's super hindsight now. So doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Not a big deal. There'll be more opportunities like this. See if there's anything. Pretty much all I want to label. I think 1030 open. I'd want to label that. See what 1030 did? We just go up, break below, then the speed comes 1050. Very nice. Yep, this could go to London low. It's possible. It's up to you where you want to leave your runners now. I'd take the bulk off here, and the rest would be runners for me personally. So for me, definitely a missed setup, but it is what it is. I'm gonna remove this, remove that. Ooh, that's messy. And we'll leave it just like this. I'm not really expecting a full reversal if I'm being honest, personally. I don't expect it, but it's possible. At least midnight, maybe. I don't know. Like, a full reversal would be like, London lows is here. Yeah, that's fine. These equal lows, very possible. In fact, I'll label that before I go. Sell side liquidity. London lows. Relative equal lows. And that pre-market. Um, we'll label that because that's very possible. And then this fair value gap right beneath it. Maybe this one. I wouldn't want to see that one though. It's too far down. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you can't let it. I can't let it affect me, right? Because we have the PM session, we have final hour, we have tomorrow, we have the entire week. Oh, we don't have tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's a bank holiday, but fine. It's a good study, you know. No pain, no gain, or no, sorry, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like we didn't lose any money, so it's not a big deal, right? First goal, we were successful in the first goal. Tomorrow's bank holiday, so personally, I won't be trading. I used to take trades like these around the same time last year. It's actually insanely nice. Yeah, we missed it. It's unfortunate, but I'll send that to the journal. Actually, we'll wait a couple bit because Steve wants to get that London 2.5 standard deviation is there. Perfect study. Yeah. 1055. What's 1055? 1055. Nice. So you took it from here to here. That's fine. That's good. That was a tape read for me. I don't think I would take that one, but it's a good study. Yeah, we can do some back test tomorrow. No pain, no pain, man. No pain. I showed the inversion issue. Nice, bro. 256 25. Oh wait, no. You said 25445. Yeah, that's what I have labeled too. That's sell side right here at London. Relative equal lows. ES is almost that new week opening gap. I would expect that. Do we look for long till it takes out London? No. That's that's not the mindset you want to attack the market with. Notice how we were trying to build a narrative here. You want to build that narrative. It can't just be, oh, we took lows long. Oh, we took long. We took highs short. You know, like you got to build a narrative with that. You missed the short due to the daily loss limit because of Project X. A little bit frustrating, but you can't let it get to you. Because again, today, what happens today doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's fine. Next time we don't hesitate, right? It's fine. No biggie. Anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. Pretty good live stream today. Flat on the day. I may trade the PM session. I'm going to be just as patient as I was in the morning. Hopefully not too patient though. Maybe trade the final hour. We'll see. I'll update you guys in the Discord, but I will see you guys live again tomorrow, exact same time. Tomorrow is going to be a back test stream, maybe, or I don't know. We'll do something. Um, Maybe I'll just do work. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through. I will see you guys live tomorrow, Wednesday, either or, and we'll do the exact same thing that we did today. Outline pretty much every candle, all the setups that failed that we managed to call out failing. The setups that did play out, we had one here, and unfortunately one here. and one here. No executions, so still flat on the day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow and Wednesday. Take care. Till next time. Peace.